Good morning all, Wesley here from the Mental Awareness Foundation. I hope you are well, and we are doing another Under the Radar series where just beautiful people in the community are flying under the radar doing great work for mental health. And this morning I have here the beautiful Viv from Peachtree. I met Viv probably, I think it was a couple of years ago.
Yeah, we started around the same time, I think.
Yeah, wow, there you go. Well, that would have been 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, a couple of years ago, and I guess it's toing and froing with emails and whatnot, and I actually ran into Viv at a Queensland Alliance mental health event, and she pulled me aside and said, I'd love to talk to you and spread my message, and here we are. And Viv was just explaining to me what she does, and at that meeting where we run into each other, and it's to do with postnatal. So I thought we'd get her on board and talk about the great work that she's doing, because Peachtree is only a couple of years old, I think.
2011 we
2011.
started. Yeah.
Nice. And is it? Or let's talk about how did Peachtree start?
Okay, so basically I'm a mum of 3 kids, and when I was pregnant with my third baby, I started to struggle a little bit in the antenatal stage.
Yep.
And then fortunately I was due with my baby, and I received a phone call to say that my lovely sister-in-law had actually completed suicide.
Right.
And that actually triggered my labour. So I had my baby on the same day that I lost my sister.
Yeah.
And she was beautiful. I remember her as full of life. She had 4 kids, so the youngest was only 18 months old when she passed away. So it's very much known in the family that depression for her probably started antenatal. There was quite a large age gap between the third and the fourth, and I don't think she was really prepared to have another baby back through that. So she struggled right through that period of pregnancy.
And was that something that you had with your pregnancy at all?
Yeah. So I found, obviously, I had a very emotionally traumatic experience around the birth of my own baby, and that, I guess, led to my own struggle with my own emotional health in that postpartum period, definitely. And I think I just thought I'd keep on keeping on,
pushing through,
busy with the kids, doing everything, and not sort of really acknowledging what was going on for myself. So I actually let it get to quite a bad state before I actually went, I'm looking at the checklist, and I'm ticking all the boxes and going, I think, this is what's happening to me. So my baby was actually 3 years old before I actually went to the doctor and started to get some help and some treatment.
And obviously, and actually, and thank you for sharing your story. I appreciate that, and this is what it is about sharing stories, because stories can make a difference, and they are. Viv, obviously you went through that. What started you researching, I guess, into postnatal depression? What was that? Was it those events that made you, gee whiz, I could, I've been through this, I should, I guess, try and explain my story to others?
Yeah, I guess it was that I was trying to understand why my sister-in-law would do what she did. I think even though we're, I think, growing up and you hear about depression and whatnot, I don't think there's really that level of understanding. So I really wanted to sort of understand why she would do this to us. So that's where it started, I guess, sort of looking into and researching and finding out and wanting to make a difference. Like I wanted to know other mothers who are struggling to know that suicide doesn't have to be an option, because you're not alone. And because so many of us struggle alone, and it's really hard to reach out, especially when you've got a baby and you're worried about people are going to think you're a bad mum, or they're going to take your baby away from you, all those types of things. So with Peachtree, we just really wanted to create something that let mums know that there is support, and help them to find and link into those other existing services that are, because there are some really great services already going.
I agree.
And helping them find them and encourage them to go in and link in with those services.
And I guess, that rolls into the next question. What does Peachtree actually do?
Okay, so quite a few different things. So we run our peer support groups, which are weekly groups. We've got 3 locations.
So like a catch-up type thing?
Yeah, it's pretty much open door. It's probably fairly similar to what a normal mothers group would be, except we allow a safe space where we can discuss,
Is activewear allowed?
Activewear is allowed, yes. And they bring their kids, and we laugh, we joke, but sometimes we cry and support and not judge.
Awesome.
And then we do a lot of public speaking and education. We recently presented to student midwives at UQ and ANU and MARTA midwives.
And are you just talking about the facts behind sort of postnatal?
Yeah, and I guess that
well?
peer perspective, that's really important, especially like for example, student midwives.
Yes.
It's really important that they understand they're in quite a powerful position. And how they, what they say and how they treat someone can have a really big impact on for that mother in that very vulnerable period. And
just, I guess, what helped you get through your postnatal? Was there anything that you sort of took into your world to help you move forward? Was that peer-to-peer contact, or?
Definitely, that was probably like the starting point, was finding and talking to other mothers and realising, I guess, getting that awareness.
Yes.
And then for me, the critical step was actually going to my GP, and I started some medication and some other talking therapy and treatment. So I had a psychiatrist, and so I mean, it wasn't an easy journey. It was a struggle, but it's worth it. And it can definitely be done.
Women have that ability to talk more, don't they? Yes, ma'am. Talk more. But no, that's why we're so blessed to have you on this earth. Listen, we were just talking off camera last week. I was just talking about one of those facts that I found quite alarming, that sadly suicide is actually the biggest killer with young mums these days. But you're mentioning that it's been around for a while. Why do you think that is?
Look, I think because you have such an expectation about what motherhood is going to be like. And if you have a really confronting and frightening experience, particularly like something like postpartum psychosis, or major depression and anxiety, really, intrusive thoughts, all of those types of things, it's really quite, it's, like I said, quite confronting and scary. And you can really start having thoughts like, my baby would be better off without me, and wanting to, I guess not to be here anymore.
And I guess, and that's the thing, I guess, if we can get to people, particularly young mums that are struggling, knowing that there is help out there, that you're not alone, which is a big thing. I think as we mentioned, I guess depression, we can isolate ourselves so much, but there is hope, and there are people out there that's to help.
Absolutely.
What if you could, what would you say to, say, a young mum that could be suffering at the moment from postnatal, or maybe is not aware? What would you suggest?
I would really suggest about opening up and talking to someone, and letting them know, like, the honesty of what you're feeling, and whether that's a friend that you trust, your partner, or your GP, or someone that you feel like is going to listen to you and not dismiss what you're feeling, because it is very real, and there's something going on. So really start looking around and like educating yourself. I found it really powerful. I did a lot of reading about what it is, but I think I think you guys say the same. It's about talking. It's about realizing that you're not alone, and that there are people there that can help you.
That is awesome. It's, I guess, making that change within yourself, and that change would be just asking yourself the question, are you okay? But then I guess you'll know if you're not feeling great, and talk to people. That's the first step. I'm sure there's many first steps, but one big step is just getting out there and talking to someone that you do trust.
And do it early, do it as soon as she starts to get that first feeling that something's not right. Like, don't sit on it and hide it, is that it will only escalate. I think the earlier you can get it, the earlier you can do something, take a little baby step in the right direction.
Now, Peachtree doesn't get any government funding or anything like that. No, it's just all off your own goodwill back.
Yeah. Well, the goodwill back of everybody out there.
Of everybody else, yes.
Yes.
Now we were talking that Peachtree is going to have a team at this year's walk for mental health. So please, if you like, supporting us at the walk, will be supporting Peachtree as well, and I will ensure that funds raised from the walk will be donated to Peachtree as well, because they do great work, and that's the great thing about Walk for Awareness, is that we have the ability to direct funds to those charities that are actually not on the front, are on the front line but are flying under the radar that people don't know about, so we can support them so that they can support you. Thank you, Viv.
Thank you, Wes.
Big hug.
Thank you.
She was a bit nervous coming on. She was like, I didn't know we're doing an interview, but she's killed it, hasn't she? Registrations are open Sunday the 9th of October. Please go to our website, walkforawareness2016.com.au. Viv's going to be there, the Peachtree is going to be there, I'm going to be there. There's going to be furry little people there, aka pets. It is a pet-friendly event, so please bring them along. We'd love to see you there. Let's make this the biggest walk in history, for Australia that is, for mental health, and let's make a difference. And we'll see you then.